Hi, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous week with the internet. I almost said our whole show. Celebrity creators. Woo! How is everybody doing tonight? Brian, I am so excited about our guest.
Oh, me too. We cannot wait to bring this gentleman back to the show. He is a wealth of information.
Yes, he is. Absolutely. But before we get started, I'd like to tell everybody about my business partner and my dear friend, Brian Kelly. Brian has been a software engineer for over 24 years. In addition to that, he is a speaker. He is an avid social media enthusiast, also works a lot with affiliate marketing. And some of the beautiful graphics and the site that you see here are all due to his creativity and magic. Brian also co-owned a travel-based multi-level marketing company for 6.5 years. As a matter of fact, that's how Brian and I met 4 years ago. He brings a wealth of knowledge to the table. He is a very giving and caring individual, high integrity and character, and I am so glad to call my business partner and friend. Brian, welcome to the show this week.
Wow, thank you so much, Kathy. As always, a glowing introduction. I really appreciate it. We have a fantastic guest, so I'm going to go right back to you and introduce Miss Kathy Stover. Mrs. Kathy Stover. Sorry about that. Kathy has a wealth of experience in the world of business and marketing, an absolute wealth of experience in business and marketing. She has over 25 years experience as an operations manager and sales manager at a Fortune 500 company. She's an extremely successful affiliate and multi-level marketer in both areas, with experience dating back to the early mid-'80s or so. She's a highly successful social media coach as well. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you have a question about it, she knows the answer. There is nobody more up on social media that I personally know than Kathy. She also holds designations as a power seller and a top-rated seller, both on eBay. Very high designations to attain, which shows you about her level of integrity and high ethics as she goes about her businesses. She's extremely well connected. In fact, she's responsible for bringing many of the fine guests that grace our stage with us each and every week. But with that, I'd like to switch this back over to you, Kathy, and welcome you, the co-creator and my very dear friend, co-creator of this very show, Kathy Stover, everybody, right here.
Brian, thank you so much. You always overdo it. That's why I like you to go first. See, I totally slipped up on the name over it. But I want to get into our fantastic guest tonight. We'd like to talk to you about Tom Antion. Tom is an internationally acclaimed expert in internet marketing for small business. He's a full-time professional speaker who's been featured on major news media worldwide, including the Canadian Broadcast Network, the Australian Broadcast Network, Associated Press, the Tokyo Today Show, and hundreds of radio and television and print outlets across the United States. Tom has a very simple three-prong attack on internet marketing, which is extremely simple and easy to understand. Now, Tom is no techie. All he cares about is where to click and to make money, and he teaches his students the exact techniques that he uses to pull in $75,000 to $220,000 in a month from his home office. These consistent, high-profit, low-overhead internet sales have made Tom an internet multimillionaire in a very short period of time. Since Tom consistently makes large sums of money while sitting in front of his computer, this gave him an idea for his infamous butt camp seminars, where you learn to make more money sitting on your rear than going out and working for a living. Tom has students in his mentor program that are e-millionaires, and many are making $5, $10, $15, or even $20,000 per month. Tom has the largest internet magazine in his industry with over 130,000 subscribers in 80 countries. That's just crazy. Tom is the author of the only video seminar of its kind, the Wake 'em Up Video Professional Speaking System, at www.antion.com/speakervideo.htm. This training course is considered the standard for training professionals or aspiring professional speakers in the art of speaking and the science of marketing professional speaking and training services. He is also the owner of the only facility of its kind in the world, and Brian and I someday are going to go there, the Great Internet Marketing Retreat Center. And so you can check that out. It's at www.greatinternetmarketing.com/retreatcenter.htm, where you live and you work with Tom for 4 days, learning the fine points of pulling in the big bucks on the internet. Now, I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. I want to introduce our fantastic guest and our friend, Tom Antion. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, Kathy and Brian. I was dozing there for a second with that introduction, but thank you. Let's get to it. I'm chomping at the bit to give them some great info.
I was going to tell him, that intro was so long, I think our show is done. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Show's over, yeah.
I'm going to have some water.
Fantastic intro, Kathy. Good job. Tom, you're known around the world. You're an international speaker. You're a self-professed non-techie. So how the heck did you get into internet marketing?
Well, I took some training in 1991 from a lady named Dottie Walters. She's known as the grandmother of professional speaking. And at that time, she told me, Tom, you need to become a product machine. Product machine. And this was prior to the commercial internet coming around. And so I started creating books and CDs and tapes and all that stuff. And it was hard enough in those days to sell that stuff across the street, let alone around the world. So when the commercial internet came along in 1994, I thought, this is outrageous. I can sell my stuff around the world from my desktop? So I dove in and started studying like crazy. It was Wild West back then. And I didn't make a nickel for the first 2 years. Did not make a nickel until I got good training from a guy named Corey Rudel. This was in 1996. And Corey was making, I think, $5 million a year, 32 years old, or maybe he was 28 at that time. And he really knew what he was doing. As soon as I got good training, I started making money. And 4 years after that is when I hit multimillionaire status. So this is really a great field, and the sky's the limit if you bother to learn what to do.
Wow.
That was mentioning Corey Rudel's name. I haven't heard that in a long time. I remember, I think he was down in Vegas or something on the Speedway and was
No, it was
killed.
San Diego.
Was it San Diego? He was an amazing teacher.
And wonderful guy that the internet world misses him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember getting emails, and that was back, I was kind of playing around at that time as well. So that's really cool. What I want to ask next is, there are a lot of people out on the internet marketing products. And Tom, I know I still get a ton of in-mail of all kinds of stuff. It's like, how do you know what to pick, and what makes you different from everybody else?
Excellent.
Well, that's one of the toughest things, is there's so many people out there that are great at copywriting. In other words, they can write words that get you so fired up about a product or service that you just you can't help but do it. I mean, it works on me too, because I read these things too. But the problem is a lot of them are just promoting each other and selling any kind of garbage that doesn't necessarily work, but they're hyping each other and trading testimonials, which is very unethical, just to get you to buy. And then, of course, you don't have much recourse. But the way I got started, I never planned on being any kind of internet marketing coach at all. I was just selling my own stuff and was thrilled to do it. And I started out selling public speaking videos, and most people hate public speaking, so it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to sell. But that's where I made my fortune, basically, and I still sell them today. But I got so good at it, people started begging me to teach them. So I was selling real products that are hard to sell to real people on the internet, and not just selling back and forth between internet marketers, which is what you see quite a bit. So I come from a perspective of selling real products, not just internet marketing products. The other thing that's a little different is I've been in business my whole life. I owned 5 apartment buildings and a hotel before I graduated from college. So I've been entrepreneurial my whole life, and I have a very heavy business background. And a lot of the young people today, and I'm totally for young people. You hear me talking about geeks all the time and how important they are to help you, because they pick up this stuff way faster than we do. But they don't have the business experience and customer service experience and ethics. I mean, the things, I mean, I'm so upset nowadays with the unethical things people are doing. So I just wrote an article. I was telling Brian before we started, I just wrote an article, top 20 seminar scams. And the people that are on my list might be getting an email about that right as we speak. But there's just so many bad things going on out there. You really have to be careful. But I don't want to scare people away from this business, because it's been the best business I've been in 30 years. I mean, I was in all that real estate I owned. Guess what? I had to take mortgages and hawk my lungs to get the loans. Now we do what we call virtual real estate. There's not, I make websites that are as gorgeous as big companies make. In fact, my websites beat a lot of big company websites, and they cost less than $100. And you've seen me show these in events that you've seen me speak at. So I'm all about ethics and using these tools so that you can really create a great lifestyle for yourself. But it is fraught with peril if you don't get a little knowledge before you go buying a lot of stuff off the internet. That's for sure.
And now, internet marketing is really nothing new, but there are still a lot of people that are still, just dipping their toes in the water and trying to check the temperature, if you will. And it's very daunting at first for those who are not really savvy with it. What would you say are some of the benefits of using the internet to market your products and services over other, say, traditional means?
Well, one of the things is a speed to market. I mean, I had a book, Brian and Kathy, that from the concept, from the time I thought up the idea till on sale on the internet, 8 hours. And the book's been selling a couple $100 a month for 8 or 9 years now. See,
oh my gosh.
But it was on there like that with virtually no investment. Another benefit would be low risk. See, that book was a digital product, so I didn't even have to print it or store it or ship it. People just buy it, they download it themselves, and the money goes into my bank account automatically. So it's very low risk. A lot of the tools that I teach people to use are very inexpensive or free. Sometimes free is good, sometimes it isn't good, but I tell you when that is. And you have very little risk. We don't have to take a mortgage to make a website. And I kind of call it an insurance policy, because if you build a lot of these websites that are bringing in cash flow for you, then if something happens in your life, if life gets in the way, if the car breaks down, if you get sick, if you got a family emergency, these things are working for you 24/7, and you can get past those rough spots in life without too much pressure. Where a lot of people, I know, back in I think it was 2000 and I don't know what year is this. I think it was 2006. I'm trying to remember back. It might have been a little later than that, when my mother passed away. But before she passed away, I took off 3 months that I had to move her out of our family home. And, big trauma after 50 years. She's living there, and I'm the baby of the family, and I'm trying to deal with all this stuff. And I left my business pretty much unattended for 3 straight months, and I came back with more money than when I left. In fact, some of the months I was making more than if I'd have been here, so I must be holding myself back. I don't know. So, most people, are 2 or 3 months away from bankruptcy or losing their home. So this is a great insurance policy, and that's one of the biggest benefits. It's low risk, but extremely high returns, especially if you're selling information products. So it's definitely something, even if you have a regular job, you want to add to your mix.
We know one thing that you mentioned was that we had heard, and you've shared some of these things with us at a couple of events that we've been to listening to you. And one thing, and I know Brian will agree, you absolutely give away so much valuable information and content. And I just want to let people know out there, if you have an opportunity to go listen to Tom Antion anywhere, he gives you such credible content that you can take when you leave, and sometimes even when you're there, and make it work for your business right now. You're absolutely giving.
Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. And I hope that's a lesson for a lot of the listeners, too. If you happen to speak or be a consultant or any type of business you're in, this is where I'm saying it goes back to me being in business 30 years. I know how to take care of my clients. And usually, I give away more than anybody. In fact, I give away prizes and trips to my retreat center and everything. But what's interesting is, and I don't want to say that I'm manipulating to do this, what I want to say is that I give away more than everybody else with no expectations of return, and I usually outsell everybody else, and sometimes everybody else put together I outsell them all. So giving, give before you get is one of the lessons my father told me when I did a eulogy for him back in the year 2000, and that was one of the leadership principles I learned from him, is give before you get. So it's the same with on the internet. You give away free stuff to get people to sign up, and I got a thing going on Facebook. You've seen that new thing I've got on Facebook. I finally decided to get on Facebook. I've been on Facebook, but I use what I call dull edge technology, and this is another good lesson for folks. See, Facebook's been around and going crazy for a long time, right? I only decided to fool with it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. When was Easter? I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
Right.
I've been on there and had other people creating my presence and doing all that stuff, but I decided to fool with it only 3 weeks ago because I want to make sure that all the geeks figure out all the bugs and, the cutting edge technology, it's more expensive, it's more hassle, nobody knows what's going on. So I just went and bought a course and studied over Easter of an advanced course, and within the last 4 days, I put 800 fans onto my fan page, and it's increasing and it's starting to go viral. So, yeah, woohoo, yeah. So everybody go over there that's listening, and it's I don't know, I forgot to tell you that thing, Brian, but it's Facebook.com, Antion and the A-N-D Associates, and the 3 A's are capitalized, Antion and Associates. And again, like Kathy said, you got enormous amounts of free stuff over there, including a 7-day trial to access my membership site that people pay $5,000 or $8,000 just to get into. So there's an example of it. But you give before you get, and then you treat people right, and good things come back to you.
And on that Facebook page for folks,
give.
Yeah, Facebook page, all people have to do is click on your picture wherever we have it on our page. Now, I think it's over here. It's either going to be there or up there. Look around. You'll see Tom's still picture, and you click on his nose, and that will take you to his fan page. Don't do it now. We're on the show.
Yeah, you can't miss my nose. Just click right there.
I know. Brian just moved stuff around, so it's kind of hard to remember where everything's at. And that kind of goes along with, what I want to bring up next. I am so blessed to have a business partner that is so creative and so techy and can put all of this really cool stuff together.
Who's that?
But one thing that I do know, Tom,
Oh, you mean Brian. Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about. But one thing I do know about you, Tom, you are not so techy.
No.
So,
all right, well,
but you've devised some simple methods to internet success. So will you share some of those with us?
Well, yeah. The thing is everybody out there in our age range or above, and you two are younger than I am, but even at our age, we didn't grow up with computers. We weren't surrounded with technology when we were kids. So I highly recommend you get a geek to help you. And I had my first one in 1997. I recruited him out of what used to be Comp USA. I don't think it's around anymore. But this kid was brilliant. I could tell him answering all the questions for the customers. So I said, hey, you want some work on the side? He came out to work for me, and he was a smart aleck little Russian kid, just a smart butt. And he would stand behind me, not here at this house, but at my old house, and watch me work. And he would almost be ready to explode. He would be like, I can't believe so much somebody making as much money as you. So stupid. Just click here. And he was right every time. I swear he saved me carpal tunnel syndrome, because I was clicking 11 things to get something done, and he'd show me how to do it in 2. Well, these kids are really brilliant. They're thrilled to death to work with computers rather than flip burgers or cut grass for a living. And they're accessible to you. They're everywhere. You can go down to your high school and to the computer clubs and the computer classes and talk to the teachers. They'll tell you who all the little geeks are. And I got to tell you, you want the geek that's never going to get a date in their entire life. That's the one you want, all right? Because that's the one that's in love with the computer. And guess what? They know all the other little geeks. So if they don't know how to do something, they call up their little buddy who knows how to do it. And they're like little roaches running all around, and we don't care, because they help us. In fact, here's my cell phone, all right? Some of you know that I'm my nickname, one of my students nicknamed me the King of Ka-ching, because when an order comes in, my computer goes ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So I wanted that on my smartphone. And you know why they call these smartphones is because they make you look so stupid trying to figure them out, right? And so I'm complaining about this. I want the ka-ching sound on here, but I figure it's going to take me all day to do it. So I put it down. One of the girls in the office comes in, picks it up, goes away. 10 minutes later, brings it back, and it goes ka-ching. Do I know how she did it? Do I care? No. Does it go ka-ching? Yes. All right. That's the kind of action you'll get if you rent. Let's say Rent a Geek. That's probably a good website. It's probably
rentageek.com.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really true. I advise all of my people to get this, because if you go to a professional firm for some of this tedious work that you have to do to really be successful, I mean, you see people selling these stupid done-for-you programs that have no chance on earth of success for a lot of money, where you could have had 100 websites that actually work and a geek operating for them for the same amount of money. So you really have to take these young people under your wing. And one thing I do is I will not pay them by the hour if they're working from home, because they're going to be fooling around, playing games, and doing everything that drives me crazy.
Good tip.
So I pay them by the project. So if they get a certain amount of web pages built, they get paid a certain amount of money. All right. Yeah. And that way I don't have to try to supervise them and pull my hair out, because when I grew up, if you got paid by the hour, some crazy, I don't know how they thought this, but you were supposed to work for the hour. Who would have thought that, but
who knew?
It doesn't appear to be that way anymore. So I pay them by the project, and that way I don't have to go crazy worried about supervising them. So get some young people to help you, recruit them, and it'll change your entire life. And yeah, you'll run through some losers, but when you find the right one that knows all the other right ones, awesome.
Excellent.
Ka-ching, huh?
Ka-ching.
I would like to, if I can, interject something here. We've got a couple of comments from some of our viewers. Our friend Linda P. Jones with ShowMeWealth.com is on with us tonight. Hi, Linda. Say hey, Brian.
Hey, Linda.
And she's at.
I can't hear.
You can't hear? You can't hear her? She's like saying, Tom.
Nope.
Her question for you is, what would your suggestion be to build a list to about 130,000 people?
Well, do you want good people or do you want crappy people? Because I could have you 130,000 in probably 2 days if I wanted to, but they wouldn't be very targeted in quality. So I don't think the question is correct. I think the question should be, how do I build the biggest quality list that I can as fast as I can? What's her name?
Linda P. Jones.
Linda. So, yeah, because 130,000 means nothing if they're not quality. So the first thing is that you should do, Linda, is get serious about list building. And serious means that you just don't have one little navigation button that says join my e-zine or my newsletter. I mean, on my homepage of Antion.com, as you're listening to this, there's 3 places to sign up. There's a dynamic HTML, that's DHTML pop-up box. It's unblockable. That hits you right in the face with about 8 benefits right at the point where you're supposed to put your email address in. Now, on the crappy topic of public speaking that everybody hates, that box and that page signs up 400 people a week, okay? So you've got to get serious about it and not just make it a little adjunct, because 13 years ago or 14 years ago when I started this, e-zines were a novelty. Now it's like, oh, am I going to get spammed if I sign up for yours? So you've got to put a ton of great benefits right next to it. Then you've got to use the social media. You've got to use YouTube and all the video things to drive free traffic. You got to use Facebook. Facebook, both paid and free traffic is awesome. I'm making, I don't know how many $100 a day just on one little Facebook ad selling my ultimate public speaking book. So you've got to go into traffic generation mode and give them really great content. So there isn't any magic bullets. You see all of these super duper list building, this and that, but yes, they build a lot of people that are worthless to you. So if you just want bragging rights, you can buy any number of programs, go on the Warrior Forum, and you'll get buried with things. But the basic way that I did it 13 years ago is the way I do it now, and it still produces high returns of quality people, and that's what you want.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And it's very similar to the way you answered my question just a couple weekends ago, Tom. And that's the thing about Tom. He's transparent. He will tell you like it is. And at all times, I have never caught Tom once saying the wrong thing, unless he's kidding around, which he does like to do that. He is a comedian as well.
Oh, not me. I don't kid around. No, you're kidding.
Never.
I'm about as stoic as they come. Cheers. So, who else is wanting to say something over there?
Well, this is actually a compliment to you. It's from Mary, and Mary, I can't pronounce your last name, but it's Mary C.
Samulka.
Yes. Thank you so much.
She's a film producer. She's an awesome film producer. Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Well, I know, but I've never asked Mary how to pronounce her last name, so now I know. Thank you. But she said you are an amazing, patient, and kind man. She is getting some of her stuff put together so that she can dig in deep and go ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So she's looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us, Mary. It's so great having you on.
Bring it on, Mary. And I got to tell you, I don't want to brag or anything, but I, Tom Antion, and this is absolute truth, am up for a part in the remake of the Blob movie. Yep. No applause. Hold on till it's actually in the can, but I am up for a part in the Blob movie. That is true. All right, let's get back to some more internet stuff. Let's give them some great stuff they can use.
All right, you know, I personally have developed quite a few websites on my own, and I know it takes a ton of work to get them right, and didn't always get them right. And if you go out to hire, it can cost upwards of tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the elaborate types of sites you wish to have. You know, it costs a lot to develop them. So how can a typical small business person afford to do it right?
Well, they basically, Brian, they have to learn something. They can't just divorce themselves. I get so many people approaching me that think they're hotshot business owners, and they want to just say, oh, just let me, you know, I don't want to get my fingers dirty. Just do it for me. No, you might as well just put yourself up like those little ducks in the shooting gallery. Boom, boom. Because you're asking for, you're going to spend 100 times minimum, and this is not exaggeration, 100 times minimum what you should spend, because you're too lazy to run your own business, and the internet is part of your business now whether you like it or not. So they have to get some knowledge. So after 13 years of teaching it in one method, I have switched all my students and my own company to WordPress software. WordPress is traditionally a blog software. However, it's evolved to the point where it can make static websites, blog websites, or hybrids, which are both blog and static. And I have one right now. It's imtcva.org. This is my new school. This is I've labored 4 years to get this school going. It's the only one in the country licensed, an independent internet marketing school that's licensed. There's lots of stuff that's unlicensed trying to sell you stuff out there, but imtcva, V is in Victor for Virginia.org, is a WordPress site. The site rivals any $1 million site you've seen at a university, and less than $100 in it. Okay,
Wow.
so, and the search engines love them. There's no downside to this. The search engines love blogging software. There's millions of themes that you can put on and make them look totally custom. There's another site I want to tell your listeners about, your viewers, called Fiverr.com. Five, like the number 5, but put 2 R's on the end. Fiverr.com. This is a site with thousands of people willing to do stuff for you for $5. Unbelievable. I mean, I got professional voiceover. Were you at the last event when I played the voiceover?
Yeah.
Yeah. Professional voiceover for my commercials, radio, and TV for my school. $5, folks. You couldn't touch this for $1,500 in Los Angeles, or maybe $500 in an off city for professional voiceover work. Graphic works, logos, $5. I mean, you could buy 100 logos and throw 99 of them away and still be further ahead than going to one company to build you a logo for $500 or $1,000. See? So when you combine the WordPress software and all of these freelancers willing to do little individual pieces super cheap, you're crazy if you spend $5,000 or $10,000 on a website, because it's just not necessary, and you're just blowing your money. That's one reason a lot of big company CEOs don't like me, because one of my sites got Best of the Web in Inc. magazine and beat out 3 of their sites that each cost $1 million a piece to create, and mine was less than $600, and by today's standards, it would have been less than $100. So their stockholders don't really like to hear that so much, that they spent $1 million on something that should have cost $600. So anyway, no, it doesn't have to cost a lot, and there's some resources for you. WordPress. Now, we're not talking about WordPress.com. That's where you can go and make a blog really easily, but you can't do commercial things on it. So we're talking about the WordPress software that probably your hosting service will give you for free, and then you go out and find a theme for it. That's what it's called, is a theme, to make it look pretty. And then you go to Fiverr to get somebody to customize the top banner for you, and you're in business for less than $50 for a basis. How about that?
So you're talking residual income on a site that's going to cost you near nothing to put up. I love that combination.
Oh, he froze on us.
Yeah, he did.
Hello, Tom. Well, we've got our first little hiccup of the evening. It was going so well. We know Tom was...
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. He's a movement.
Oh, you there?
We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
I kept talking. You were
like...
all locked up, and so I just kept talking. Okay, so I don't know where we left off, but let's pick it up there.
All right. Well, one of the things that Brian and I have heard you say often is the fact that savvy...
But I lied.
Oh, geez. Okay, forget it. One of the things that you said was that savvy marketers make money coming and going. What the heck do you mean when you say that?
Well, most of the people, get a website, and they come up with some idea, and they throw some traffic at it, and they cross their fingers that somebody buys something. And if they don't, they say, oh, darn, I got to get some more people to come and try to buy something. But savvy marketers try to do things to catch people whether they're coming or going. So if they try to leave your site, in the old days, we used exit pop-ups boxes to give them a better deal, or to offer them a finance deal, or to get them to sign up on a list, or do something to try to catch them when they're leaving. Now, exit pop-up boxes get blocked by almost all browsers. So a guy came up with a thing called Exit Splash. ExitSplash.com. I have no affiliation with it, but the dynamic type of technology I was telling you about on my homepage at Antion.com doesn't work exactly when you're leaving a website, but it's close. So you can use this Exit Splash to catch people when they're leaving your website and make another offer to them, or, in other words, they were coming and they didn't do what you wanted them to do, and now they're going, so you're taking another shot at them. Well, usually a percentage of the people will do what you want them to do, and you save them from just leaving without doing anything. So that's what coming and going means. And savvy marketers all have those kinds of things in place.
Cool. Okay.
Now, you've emphasized in the past, we've seen you do it, another major mistake people make with their websites, and it had to do with keywords. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the entire internet, even with all this multimedia and video, revolves on keywords. These are the words that people type in to find your product or service. And if you don't know what they are, most people think they know, and they come up with 10 or 15 words, and they're all proud of themselves and patting themselves on the back and saying, oh, I got my keywords down. And then I take them to a tool, and I'll give you the URL for the tool is freekeywords.wordtracker.com. freekeywords.wordtracker.com. I think Brian's going to display it there somehow for you. But I take them to this tool, and I put these words in, and this tool will tell me how popular that word is, how many times roughly per day. It's not exactly per day, but roughly per day, people are typing them in, and all the different ways they're typing them in. And people's just jaws drop when they see, oh my God, the word I thought was perfect for my business, nobody cares about. They've even built entire websites and operations about keywords that are worthless to the company. So that's a big mistake. So the way we do it is we find out the keywords first that they're looking for with regard to your business or your product or service, and then we build the website to exactly match it. And then we build our social media to exactly match it. We shoot videos to exactly match what the keywords are. In fact, this is something very few people know. When you shoot a YouTube video to drive traffic to your site, you should say your keywords in the video. Google can now index what's being said in your video.
That's incredible.
So you've got to do all of these things with your keywords, and it's very efficient because you're only building and doing stuff that matches what people are already looking for. So you mess this up, you're just spinning your wheels and wasting a lot of time. But that tool's a good place to start. It's totally free.
Awesome. And we all know the keywords are a very important part to incorporate with everything that we do. What a great tip on the YouTube with the fact that they can pick up what you're saying. That just blows me away. I don't know.
Now, another thing I might as well add while I'm here is as of February 28th, the whole world changed according to Google. They did a major update in their what they call algorithm, which is a fancy word to say if you don't have what they like, you're screwed on your website. Yeah, it's some, I don't know, it's some Greek term or something. But the whole world changed, and that changed the picture of article marketing, which was very big, and we promoted article marketing quite a bit. But a lot of the article sites lost, the big one, ezine articles, lost an enormous amount of traffic because Google's update was to go after poor quality content or duplicate content, and a lot of these big sites went down the tubes. So still the best way to do article marketing that a lot of people don't even know, it's harder, but the links that you get by putting articles on other sites are more valuable. And that is to seek out seek out websites that are complementary to yours that accept articles on your topic, but they don't accept articles on every topic. So they're not like a run-of-the-mill generic directory. they're something that's, if it was about business, yeah, I could sneak in a public speaking or executive coaching or something that's business oriented, but I probably wouldn't put a gardening article on a business site, say, unless you were landscaping and getting paid for it. So it's a pain in the neck to do this, but when you get articles on these important sites that are complementary to yours, those links are extremely valuable. When Google sees those links from those good sites, it raises you up in the search rankings. So spend the bulk of your time with article marketing just searching out the best sites rather than slapping articles easily up on a bunch of crappy sites that Google doesn't even give you value for the links.
Great tip. Now, isn't there some other type of tool that you use for your entire operation that sells more to the visitors that you have? Tell us about that.
Yeah, when people come to my retreat center, the first session that we have is not all big high-level internet marketing. It is basically using tools to automate yourself. I mean, I got to 1.2 million a year, and I don't know how many 90,000 e-zine subscribers. Wow. One part-time assistant.
That's amazing.
Because of using the tools that are probably on your computer right now. So when we took it to the next level, we started using a tool called Kickstart Cart. A lot of people out there probably have it already, and they know me because I help support it for them. But it's a shopping cart system that automates your broadcast. In fact, I had 5 minutes before I had to get on this webinar with you, and I was able to do a broadcast to 21,000 people with 2 clicks of the mouse to get this new article I have distributed before I got on here. So that used to take, and it's all mail merge, which means everybody's name's in it and so forth. That used to take, in the old days when I first started doing this stuff, you couldn't do it at all. But when you could do it, it took 2 to 3 hours to send a broadcast just to set it up. But now it's within literally less than a minute to do it. So that's the kind of tool that upsells people, collects the money for you, delivers your ebooks, sends autoresponder messages out. And it's very, this is the kind of stuff, Amazon invented a lot of this technology, but, they spent millions of dollars to get their site going. Well, a lot of the same features you can have for $1,000 a year, which is, maybe $100 a month, to really, really automate your business and sell way more to the same number of people. So these are the kind of tools that we use. This is not a free one. This is the place where shopping carts, you get a free one. It's guaranteed it's a piece of junk. You may not realize that if you don't know any better, but I can assure you that it's a piece of junk. And we have free ebooks and things that teach you, all about what you need to have on your shopping cart.
And Kathy and I can certainly relate to that comment about if they're free, they're junk. We've researched so many different shopping cart methods, membership sites, video conferencing tools, you name it. If it comes at a low cost, odds are you're going to get what you pay for. It's true across the board.
Yeah, so. But some, like I said, some things free are good, but guys like me and Brian and Kathy figure it all out and will tell you the free stuff that's good. And if it's paid, then at least you have some recourse, and it's probably going to be supported better and so forth.
Right.
And for an absolute comprehensive list of all of what Tom is talking about tonight and all of his knowledge, it goes far beyond 1 hour. I mean, it could last, days, months, years if we were to talk and suck it out of his brain.
I literally could go like this for probably 2 weeks and never repeat myself.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all. And what I wanted to tell folks to do is...
Hey,
say again?
Well, let's tell them about how they can turn their hobbies into a tax deduction. How about that? That brings up one of my sites called fatsotennis.com.
All right.
I am the largest, I guess this goes along with being in the Blob movie. I'm the largest person ever to produce and star in a tennis training video because I'm a tennis nut. So I thought, I'm spending all this money on tennis stuff, and it's not technically, a little bit's tax deductible because when people come to the retreat center, I have a tennis court for recreation and a bunch of rackets and stuff. But I'm a bigger tennis nut than that. So having a website that sells a product. This is a $40 2-DVD set, and it's real. It's not just a joke. So it's really good for fat people that it says winning tennis for the overweight and hopelessly out of shape, to teach you how to run the other people to death before you poop out. So that makes virtually all my tennis stuff legitimately tax deductible, because I'm selling a lot of these videos, and it's definitely part of this business. So that's a way to make your hobbies tax deductible. And the website costs $20, fatsotennis.com. Take a look at it and tell me it doesn't look like it's $2,000 or $3,000. It was $20 total for that website.
And that's because you're using what's called a theme from WordPress that you gave a tip about on stage that we are using now on our Celebrity Creators site. So his tips work, people. So anytime Tom talks, listen very, very closly. Now, there's some...
Tell everybody around here that, too, if you wouldn't mind.
Now, I know you also have a method.
One of our...
Go ahead.
What was that?
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, one of our viewers, Mary, is asking a question here of Tom, if I can ask real quick. She is embarking on a major fundraising campaign, Tom, for the film industry, and currently they do not have a shopping cart. She is currently using PayPal, and her question is, should they set up something separate?
Well, the thing about PayPal, I do believe it has a donation function. That's one thing about a shopping cart, is you usually have to give them exact denominations unless you have a donation function that people can pick how much they want to donate. So I don't see, I'm always going to tell you the best thing for you. I don't see any reason for you to change just for the donation portion of it. Now, if you wanted to keep in touch with those donors and hit them up over time, that's a different story. That way you would use the autoresponder function to thank them, give them freebies, and it's all automated, which PayPal will not do for you. So you might use a combination of them, or if you were going to go all the way to the shopping cart, you would just make set denominations that they could click on and donate, rather than them picking a certain amount. But so you're okay for now, but it could be better.
Thank you.
All right, and you also have a method for creating one-page sales letter sites that are very lucrative. Can you give us highlights of that method? I'm really interested in that. One page.
Yeah, and that, just like everything on the internet, it changes rapidly. So one-page sales letter sites are not one page anymore, because Google came out a couple years ago and said, you know what, even if you're using pay-per-click, our Google AdWords program, to drive traffic to these sites, we don't think that a site that's only one page could be very valuable to our visitors. So we're going to screw you and make you pay $10 a click. That was called the Google slap, which occurred several years ago, and hit squeeze pages, and it hit one-page websites and so forth. So if you're going to the idea behind a one-page website is it's a single focus site to sell a specific product. So if I had a particular, like I could have one, although I don't, I could have a single site for Fatso Tennis that only sells the video and doesn't do anything else. But if you only have one page, they're going to charge you a lot per click for pay-per-click. So you build the site out to 15, 20 pages so that your click charges are cheaper with pay-per-click, because you look more substantial. And if you keep building it out, you can eventually get free traffic from Google as your site rises in the search positioning. So one-page sites aren't exactly one page anymore, but the concept is you're selling one product, and it's a sales letter. A lot of days now we have video and the sales letter, because people aren't reading as much on the just straight sales letters anymore. So you put a video at the top and then sales letter at the bottom. And that's the idea, one single focus to sell a specific product.
Awesome. Well, at the beginning when we started and I was introducing you, Tom, to our viewers, one of the things that I mentioned was the fact that you had a three-prong approach. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit here and talk about that. One of your methods is a database. So why is that so important? Well,
your database, and the database is bigger than just an email list now. We'll be going shortly into text messaging. So phone numbers are part of your database. We firmly believe, and I have for years, that offline and online promotions rule the world. So occasionally we do a mailing, we do a phone, sometimes we do an automated phone call. So all of these things allow you to what we call push market or reach out to people. Yes, some are a little bit intrusive, so you have to tread lightly to make sure you don't alienate your base of folks. But you do have to take some control, and you don't want to just wait for them to come to you all the time. So when you hear database is gold, it really is, because at any time I feel like it, I can come up with an idea, hit a couple buttons, 130,000 people hear about it, and money starts coming in within 20 minutes. When you come to the retreat center, if I have a promotion going on that weekend, I show people, here, I'm hitting the button, ready? Boom. 20 minutes later, ka-ching, ka-ching, and they start coming in all weekend. See, so that's the value of your database. And if I had to give you an overview of the 3 prongs, we talked about the first prong a little bit, in that's website creation, WordPress, the themes, all of that is prong 1. And your shopping cart, all of that is prong 1. Database is prong 2, and product creation is prong 3. You have all 3 of those going, you're usually doing something in one of those. Even all your social media is basically prong 2, database. Your videos could be prong 1 if they were going to be on your website, and prong 2 of driving people to your website, again, is database. See? So the only one we haven't touched on much is prong 3, which would probably be a good idea before we get out of here. What do you think?
Sounds great.
You're the celebrity creators. I'm just the poor unpaid talent.
Go.
So prong 3 is product creation. Now, when people come to me and they want to make money fast, guess where I send them? I send them to where Kathy is good at, eBay. That's the fastest way to make money. You don't have to have anything, basically, but some kind of crap out of your basement and sell it to somebody. But for the long haul, with eBay and every place else, we highly suggest you create information products, because they're the lowest cost, lowest risk, highest return product that you can make. When people come to me and they want to sell gift baskets or something like that, I'm thinking, oh my God, you've got 60, 70% in cost. You've got perishables that you're going to have to store, and they're going to go bad on you, and you've got small margins, so you have to do everything perfect to make a living. But if you create an audio and put it on a CD, it's 90% profit minimum. And if it's digital, downloadable, it's 97% profit, just for a little 3% or 2% for your credit card charges. So you have to be, and I don't want to say this to offend anybody, but you almost have to be a moron to mess up if you've got 97% profit to deal with. Now think about that, folks. I mean, unless you just come up with what I call a CSI, which most people think is that TV show, but to me it's a crappy, stupid idea. And my ideas are crappy and stupid too, until I prove that they aren't with those keyword tools. So I'm not being arrogant here. I'm just being in your face that if you come up with an idea that somebody wants, you can hardly mess up if you got 97% profit. And when you two eventually get to my house, you're going to see a table, a 6-foot banquet table, this high, with tennis videos, because I'm a tennis nut. And wow. The point of that is that if you find a market where people are crazy, golf and tennis and dogs and horses, they'll buy anything on that topic. Mm-hmm. So I've got thousands of dollars worth of tennis DVDs and CDs and books, and if either one of you creates one, I'll buy it. If anybody's on this line creates one, I'll be your first customer, because I'm a nut about tennis. So you don't have to create anything that's outrageous or revolutionary. You just have to go where there's a passionate market that has money and create a product. Now, how would you do that? Well, you could interview people. I'll tell you a method right now. I don't know how much time we got left, but I'll tell you a quick method. You could go let's pick go-karts. I was sitting next to a guy on the plane, and he had these magazines for these expensive go-karts. I mean, he must have been 45, 50 years old, and he's looking at these go-karts. So I know they cost a lot of money. What you could do, if you wanted to create a product on go-karts, you go and type in go-kart forum or go-kart discussion board. And you're going to find thousands of people talking about go-karts and souped-up go-karts. You watch them, which is called lurking. You watch these boards for a while, you'll see who all the players are, who the people that are commenting all the time. You get in touch with them, you interview them. They'll think it's great because you're making them a big star. Put it in a product of interviews of all the top go-kart people in the country, and you're the publisher then, and you don't know a damn thing about go-karts. Are we censored here? I don't know. But damn is not too bad. That's another
okay,
technical term with algorithm. It's like damn algorithm, and that's a Greek thing. Okay. So that you could make a product like that and sell it around the world to go-kart enthusiasts and not know a darn thing about go-karts. So that's a quick course in product creation.
And I love go-karts.
Absolutely amazing. I just want to do a shout out here. Our good friend Judith Cassis is on with us tonight. She said to say hi, guys. Hi, Brian. Hi.
Hi, Judith. I just spoke at her
Kathy.
wonderful event.
Yeah.
In Santa Clarita, Tidbits.
Tidbit events, yes.
That was what, a couple of weeks ago, huh?
I never looked back. I have no idea. It wasn't too long ago.
A weekend.
Well, we're absolutely delighted to have her on with us tonight. And I'll tell you what, you were asking, you didn't know how much time you had left? It always, and I say this every week, it just blows me away how fast an hour goes by. And we are so excited, and believe me, we were thrilled when you said absolutely you wanted to come back on with us when we had you on, when was it, Brian, like last October, I think?
I never looked behind, I don't know.
See, he doesn't look backwards either.
I'm trying to learn from
Tom.
Tom.
It was just kind of, our technology was a little funky that night. So we were just absolutely honored that you agreed to come back and share with our viewers. Gotta say.
I've been dying to try this. I got this because I'm old. How's it?
Can you see us better?
I don't know. I can't see you at all, but.
I don't know, that like shrunk you down. You look like about this big.
Oh, I thought it's a magnifying glass. I thought it was going to make me a bigger celebrity. No? Okay.
I love it.
You know, I was burning my retina out there when I was doing that. All right.
That's because we're beaming on this side. But Tom, thank you so much for taking your valuable time tonight to come and share with our viewers. And for anybody out there, Brian and I can attest that anytime you can connect with Tom Antion, absolutely do it, because he gives you over-the-top information like he shared earlier. It's all about giving, and the rest just happens. So I just want to say, for me, thank you so much for taking your time to come on tonight. I'm going to turn it back over to my friend and partner, Brian Kelly.
And I can't
say
say
Am I a celebrity now? Because you're a celebrity creator.
Yes,
right,
you
good.
are.
You are one of those that were already a celebrity.
Come on.
Yeah, Tom, I can't express Kathy's sentiments any better, but other than to say that I truly feel that you are one of the rare folks out there in the industry that get it, that have the integrity level. That is, you set the bar really where it should be with everyone, but unfortunately today that's not the way it is. But thank you for being who you are and treating business and people, more importantly than anything, the way you treat people. And just glowing and so happy and pleased to have you on our show again, to know you and to call you our friend. Just wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, and I can't wait for that contest you got coming up. Let's really rock them with that.
Oh, yes, that's going to rock. All right, with that, we will have to call it a night, but join us again next week for another fantastic show. This is the Celebrity Creators, Brian Kelly, Kathy Stover, and Tom Antion saying good night.
Good night, everybody.